I, like many other Commander players, fell in love with Wilson the minute he was spoiled. Here's this adorable yet posh bear regally drinking potions in the forest. He is obviously sophisticated and has a refined palate. A bear among bears. A lord of bears. Or, if you'll pardon the pun, an aristocratic bear. So of course I had to pair Wilson, Refined Grizzly, with Cultist of the Absolute. Today we continue our series of deck techs built around the new legendary creatures from Commander Legends 2 Battle for Baldur's Gate. Some of the videos, like today's, will be budget lists. I don't want to be tied to only making budget deck lists because I know that some of you can afford to drop $500 on a new Commander deck, while others cannot. If you want to be notified when those new Commander videos post, be sure to click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all new videos coming out. With that out of the way, let's take a look at Wilson, Refined Grizzly, as well as his chosen background. Wilson is a 2-mana 2/2 legendary bear that cannot be countered. He also has Vigilance, Reach, Trample, and Ward 2. Wilson also lets us choose a background. Backgrounds are a new mechanic introduced in Battle for Baldur's Gate. The mechanic is basically a limited form of partner. All mono-colored legendary creatures from Battle for Baldur's Gate have the Choose a Background feature, and there are several legendary enchantment backgrounds also included in the set. This is to help make drafting a 2-color commander deck easier, if you weren't lucky enough to draft a multicolored commander otherwise. Your background starts in the command zone and can be any color, thus adding to your deck's color identity. In this case, we chose to go with Cultist of the Absolute. This background is a 1-mana legendary enchantment that gives our commander +3/+3, Flying, Death Touch, and Ward pay 3 life. Additionally, we also have to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of our upkeep. So we don't want to go turn 1 Cultist, turn 2 Wilson, because at the start of turn 3 we'll have to sacrifice our adorable and sophisticated bear. Additionally, the 2 ward abilities are separate, so if an opponent wants to use spot removal on our discerning and high-minded commander, they'll have to pay 2 mana, as well as 3 life to do so. But we're going to need other creatures to sacrifice, otherwise Wilson will die to his own background, and we can't have that. And since we're going to be sacrificing every turn, we want lots of token generators, as well as some payoffs. So let's build a $50 budget Wilson the Aristocrat deck. But before we get started, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 15 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, 1 sudden I win card. To start, let's take a look at our token generators. Some of our creatures leave behind a token when they're sacrificed, like Nested Shambler, Brindle Shoat, Deathbloom Thallid, Discordant Piper, Doomed Dissenter, Exquisite Huntmaster, Eyeblight Colors, Midiotic Slime, and Ochre Jelly. Others create additional tokens, like Callous Bloodmage, who also serves as our first piece of graveyard hate, and Gutter Grime. Our aristocrat payoffs include Zulaport Cutthroat, Blood Artist, Poison Tip Archer, Bastion of Remembrance, and Vindictive Vampire. Our sack outlets, other than our background, are Dina Soulsteeper and Viscera Seer. We also have a lot of card draw tied to our Aristocrats package, as well as additional ways to kill our creatures. To start, we have Shesra, Death's Whisper, Grim Harusapex, Moldervine Reclamation, Midnight Reaper, Morbid Opportunist, and Death Reap Ritual. Our draw spells that kill our creatures include Village Rites, Victimize, and Altar's Reap. For more traditional card draw, we're running Grizzly Salvage, Read the Bones, and Harmonize. Our interaction consists of Containment Breach, Naturalize, Plague Crafter, Reclamation Sage, Putrefy, Golgari Charm, our second piece of graveyard hate, Mortality Spear, Krosan Grip, Death Sprout, Tragic Slip, Zat's Will, our third piece of graveyard hate, Deadly Brew, and Casualties of War. For board wipes, we have Gaze of Granite and Dregs of Sorrow. For mana ramp, we're running a bunch of mana dorks or land fetchers that can be sacrificed for fodder in Wood Elves, Llanowar Elves, Solemn Simulacrum, Farhaven Elf, Elvish Mystic, Fyndhord Elves, and Skull Prophet. Additionally, we've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Cultivate, and Farseek. Finally, we have a Sakura Tribe Elder, which we can sacrifice to Cultist of the Absolute if necessary, but hopefully we won't have to. For lands, we're running Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Woodland Chasm, Temple of Malady, Darkmoss Bridge, Golgari Guildgate, Witherbloom Campus, Jungle Hollow, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse for color fixing, Myriad Landscape for additional ramp, 14 swamps, and 12 forests. Now let's compare our deck list to our checklist and see how we did. 50 mana sources, split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, right on target. 12 pieces of card advantage, most of it repeatable. 13 pieces of spot removal, 2 board wipes, 3 pieces of graveyard hate, no sudden I win cards, but this is an Aristocrats deck. The Aristocrats archetype is all about grinding value. It is the ultimate mid-range deck for Commander. So our deck checks most of our boxes, is fun to play, and well under a $50 budget. If you want to up it to $100, I'd recommend adding some slightly better lands. There are a whole bunch of good lands in green and black that you could add to your deck that are fairly budget. But if you wanted to further improve the deck, there are some non-budget upgrades you could add. The biggest upgrade to this deck is the Meathook Massacre. That card is a phenomenal board wipe that is also a win con in an Aristocrats deck. Secondly, this deck only has 1 piece of graveyard recursion, so I'd add something like Journey to Eternity. Heroic Intervention and Veil of Summer are both great, if a bit pricey, pieces of interaction, and Second Harvest could be considered a win con in our deck. For pure silliness though, I'd try to make room for a Beledros Witherbloom. Not only is he a potential win con, he makes tokens every single turn. What direction are you taking, Wilson Refined Grizzly? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more Commander content, or you can click here for more deck tech videos. I've also started a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Danon or click the link in the description below. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.